Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, along with the altcoin market. We also take a look over there at the United States stock market, which is set to open up here in the next 2 minutes, while also peeking over there at precious metals like gold and silver in the US dollar currency index, or the DXY. Lastly, we'll wrap it up with whatever financial news is going on out there in the market and any type of crypto news. As we are at the halfway point of the week, we are at the very last day of the month, and we are on Fed Day, which is in 4 hours and 30 minutes, where we will get the answer and the forward guidance on what's going on with the hiking, pausing, and cutting cycle. As you all know, we entered into a hiking cycle a couple of years ago. We've been in a pausing cycle for Lord knows how long, 8, 9, 10 months, something like that. And are we officially going to be entering into the cutting cycle come September? That's kind of the guidance that everybody's looking for. So we'll dive into that stuff as we get to it. Of course, we will live stream that today. So 4.5 hours from now, it's like around 2 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you just have to kind of figure out what that is, UTC. Maybe that's 1800 UTC, I think. All right. Anyway, getting ready for the stock market to open right now. Looks like stock market is going to open up, right? So it looks like we're going to have the NASDAQ up. Let me see. Has it already opened? Let's just look at it. Here we go. U.S. stock market. Russell is up about 10 points. Dow Jones is up about 52. S&P up 70 points, NASDAQ up 426 as we get our day kicked off. We'll let these update here just for a second. NVIDIA jumping back after having pretty deep sell-offs. NVIDIA is up 9% this morning. It's been getting its behind hammered for the last several days and weeks, but it looks like it's catching a little bit of bounce as we head into today's big day. But there we have it. That's how our day is starting. Looks like Dow is actually a little bit red. Let me go back and look at that. Dow Jones just about flat. So Dow's about flat, but that NASDAQ is ripping, and the S&P is up over 1% as well. And then the Russell is up 10 points. But that's the big thing we'll be watching for today, is to see how our Russell reacts to the Fed funds today and the Fed decision today. Of course, this is the big breakout we're all looking for as Bitcoin sits there at 66,400. But before we get dived into everything, I hope that you all have been doing well. This is the day we've been waiting for a long time, for this Fed day, and to see if we're going to get all the stars aligned today for the market to kick itself off and hopefully give us a couple of weeks of incredible excitement to happen in here. But with it being a Wednesday and Markets in the Morning, we like to have a little bit of fun here on the channel. So happy Wednesday, my dudes.
It is Wednesday, my
All right, enough goofing off. Get down to business, sir. All right, so Bitcoin sits at 66,400. Since the last time we've seen each other, what was going on last time? I think Biden had dropped out. Harris has stepped in and somehow became the candidate without a vote or something like that. Since then, Trump has spoken at the Bitcoin conference saying he would fire Gary Gensler. I know everybody hoots and hollers about that. That actually is tradition that does end up happening, is that, whenever the helm, if the helm ever changes at the top, a good example of that is when Joe Biden won the presidency at the end of 2020. Remember, Jay Clayton stepped down, right? So I have no doubt about it. If Trump won, Gary Gensler would just step down. He's a very egotistical maniac, and there's no way he would let the narrative be painted that he got fired. He would step down and do something like that and pursue other things, probably go to Goldman, become the head over at Goldman or something like that. But either way, I think that's really kind of the only kind of crazy news is Trump showed up at the Bitcoin conference. So that was pretty cool to see that happen. News-wise, I think everybody's just been kind of waiting for this moment right now. What's going to happen over here with the stock market and with the cryptocurrency market as we get ready for the Fed funds decision to end up happening. So Bitcoin sitting here. I just published a newsletter this morning. It's time. August answers the crypto cycle theory. All stars are aligned for Bitcoin and the altcoin market to prove the timing theory. We go through a lot of different stuff through here to talk all about this, not just Bitcoin's price chart, not just XRP's price chart, but all the stars are aligned for if cycle theory ends up being true. All the cycle theorists, all your stars are aligned that August is your month. If it doesn't happen in August, well, then things are different. But if you want to still hold on to it and grasp onto it and hold on for dear life, well, August is our answer. So we'll find out. All right, but here we go. Bitcoin 66,500. XRP's been interesting, of course, here in the last 24 hours. So the second the clock ticked over to July 31st over here, we started to see XRP start to poke above this range. Could that be our sign that we are going to poke above here with the Russell as we get ready for the Fed meeting? It will be Magical Unicorn, Fairy Dust, Puppet Masters pulling the puppet strings, God, or a simulation to see if these two do finally get out of here on the exact same day. We do actually have the dollar pulling back this morning, and so I guess I could update my title and change it from DXY 104 to DXY 103, but it is 103.955. Maybe next week we get to do that. But we can see the dollar is pulling back today as we do have the Russell pushing up there against that 786 boundary. You have the NASDAQ up over 2%, the S&P up 1%, and then the Dow just kind of going sideways up in here. So we're really still just looking to see if we're going to get expansion here in the coming days. Now, if you're looking at all this kind of stuff and cycle theory and all these things, and we've spent a lot of time talking all about these things and talking about these things, if I had to make my best guess, it's not that it would really actually get crazy today or that it would get crazy tomorrow or Friday. It's that it would actually be next week, that it would be like Monday or Tuesday. That's kind of my best guess on if we were going to get out of here, if it's going to get kind of silly. It actually end up being the fireworks would start kicking off next week rather than this week. That's really just by comparing a tremendous amount of charts towards each other. That's just going to be my best guess. So whatever we get today, if this thing still just kind of waddles here for 3 or 4 days or something like that, that's my best guess. So just kind of throwing it out there. As for total XRP versus the entire market cap of the cryptocurrency market, what a sight to behold to see that thing finally pulling back aggressively. We pointed to this for months leading up to it, the massive weekly bearish divergence that had been emerging there for XRP. And then, of course, it did just go kerplunk, and we've seen XRP outperform the entire cryptocurrency market for several weeks now, going on 4 weeks now that we've been outperforming the rest of the crypto market. I'm sure it became kind of a joke out there. Bitcoin goes up, XRP stays flat, Bitcoin goes down, XRP goes down with it. It's like you couldn't catch a break out there. It was this really lasted for a whole year. That's how rough that time period really was. 1 whole year of that. But I'm sure you have been noticing, regardless of whatever volatility has been happening over there in the cryptocurrency market, over there in the stock market, XRP has held up okay through it all. And that's because of the dynamic shift that we've actually seen happening here in the market right now with XRP versus the crypto market. So are we on the cusp? I still think we're waiting to get our answer from in here. That's the big thing we're looking for today and into the next week, and see how the market digests the information that is provided to it when it comes to the Fed meeting. So we'll talk about this because we are going to be streaming this today. It is a 97% probability that the Fed will not be cutting today. Expect them to be paused. That's what the expectation is. This thing, I've yet to see them in the last several years. I've yet to see them go against what market consensus is. However, market consensus right now is also priced at a 100% probability that we will cut next time. So September 18th. This isn't news to you. You've been hearing this, of course. at 87% probability that it'll be a 25 basis point rate cut, which is 0.25% to the Fed funds rate. But it is even priced with a 12% probability that it actually will be 50 basis points or 0.5%. So we'll see what the Fed has to say today and see if the market's going to get this. We saw this happen once earlier in the year. If you remember, at the end of December, heading into January, the market had priced in a bunch of rate cuts to come in, and then the Fed completely had squashed that, right? I can't remember off the top of my head if it was like 3 meetings out or 2 meetings out or the very next meeting. I don't really recall, but we saw this before. We saw the market get it wrong. Market seems pretty confident like this. Also, historically, getting before an election, that's typically where we do end up seeing that kind of stuff happen, where the Fed does do something right before the election, which this would be the last meeting that there would be before the election takes place in the United States in early November. So that's today. We'll live stream that. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Expect volatility leading up to it. Expect volatility during it. Expect volatility after it. Expect volatility tomorrow and Friday to try to settle down. And then Monday, fingers crossed, that's it. Let's go. All right, so there you go. Bitcoin 66,600, XRP 64.6 cents. This is the highest price we've seen for XRP dating back to March. And it's always funny how it works, man. I've seen it too many times in this market where you can go months of torture and then it takes a couple of days to kind of take it all back. And it's been nice to see this dynamic showing up here in the market. So that's our watch for today is the Russell. Gold is up slightly today. It's up to $2,424. Silver is up slightly as well. Actually, silver's up 48 cents, but it's been taking a beating for the last couple of weeks. Silver's at 28.85. Again, we always point to this with these yellow boxes on here because any expansionary period that has happened for Bitcoin, that has happened for the crypto market, or happened for the United States stock market, a broad expansion move has been accompanied by gold falling or being suppressed. And that, of course, has been a different dynamic in here that, of course, would change in the event of something like that. You do something like that, then guess what? We start looking a lot like what typically happens during expansionary periods. As of right now, though, gold sits at 24.23 as we head into the Fed meeting. Anything else in here? Russell now back to flat. Dow pretty flat, but the NASDAQ is the one that's really kind of crushing it this morning with NVIDIA, Tesla, Coinbase, Amazon, GameStop, and AMC leading the way, with Microsoft, who I think just barely met expectations on earnings, takes a hit. United Health takes a hit, and so does Ford. All right, DXY 103.97. Again, we just covered everything from the Fed. That's our big story today. That's the thing. We'll be together again in just a little over 4 hours. We'll be doing a second live stream today. These are always big days, and we only play the frog in the event that we get something epic come out of this meetings. Well, if you've ever had things lined up for something epic to come, this Fed meeting is the one. So make sure you tune in today. As for financial news that's going on out there in the world, Boeing taps their former Collins Aerospace CEO Kelly Ortberg to replace David Calhoun. So Boeing is going through changes. S&P 500 futures jump as AMD leads chip comeback ahead of the Fed decision. Here's everything you need to know about the Fed decision coming Wednesday. All right. Again, of course, you got politicians showing up there at a Bitcoin conference, just feeding that glorious, glorious opium, in the words that you want to hear from your politicians, which is what we always get. We always get a bunch of words and zero action coming out of them. Anyway, U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve is to be funded partly by revaluing Fed's gold, the draft bill shows. Believe it when I see it. The office of Senator Cynthia Lummis, who proposed the strategic reserve at the Bitcoin Nashville conference on Saturday, shared a draft of the legislation with CoinDesk. NVIDIA is becoming more volatile than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin has exhibited a strong positive correlation with NVIDIA since late 2022. Oh, look, we made it to front page news, guys. XRP surges 7% amid a Ripple SEC settlement hope. 600 million token unlock, right? There's a token unlock that happens every month. It's nothing new. I think Fred Rispoli, his prediction was always today, too. So that would be insane. His prediction has always been that the conclusion to the Ripple and SEC, what is it? what is the term? Oh my gosh. What's the money they owe? Uh, Penalties. Remedies. That's the word. Remedies. That decision is to be made by today. I have no way to know that to be true, but surely it does align with timing for something like that to show up with the Fed, with the markets. I put my little prediction on it and said like August 4th or 5th during the last markets in the morning. I don't remember what day I said, the 4th or the 5th. I'm going to stick with whatever one that was. And that's just due to magical unicorn dust of charts. So we'll see all about that. But there you go, XRP, you make it to front page. But CoinDesk, of course, cannot let you know that there's a 7% without $600 million of tokens unlocked. CoinDesk has notoriously been very, very biased. So that's normal. That's part of the escrow. All right, Bitcoin price lower highs keep Bitcoin bears in control at 70K. $35 trillion of U.S. national debt could bolster Bitcoin's adoption as hard money. Bitcoin price lower highs keep Bitcoin bears in control at 70K. Ethereum price will lag for months as Bitcoin surges, says ex-Hall of Flame Roman. DraftKings kills NFT business, citing legal developments. Spot Ethereum ETFs flip positive after $34 million of inflow on July 30th. I don't know if it's going to be in here. Let's see if this grayscale thing is in here. We're going to look at that really fast. We're getting a nice little pop over there in the crypto market right now. GBTC. Ugh. I don't know if you guys noticed this. You saw this fall that happened over there in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust yesterday. It fell 11% in the morning. If you're thinking to yourself, what happened to Grayscale Bitcoin Trust? They're doing a mini ETF for Bitcoin that's launching today, I think. And 10% of the Bitcoin came out of Grayscale and was put into the mini ETF. So anybody who held this, you're going to get a 1-for-1 distribution or airdrop of the mini ETF that will be coming. So your exposure is still exactly the same. But this happened in the morning with no explanation in pre-market yesterday. And I'm sitting there thinking, what is going on? Why do we have an 11% drop in Grayscale? And it's because they took 10% of the Bitcoin out of here. So the discounted NAV dropped. And that went into a mini ETF that I believe is launching today. And anybody who's held this, you get that other one too. So you pretty much have exactly the same exposure, but that's the explanation for the actual drop in that one. I didn't see it in here. Over 41.5% of Mt. Gox Bitcoin is distributed as creditors continue to hodl. XRP Deja Vu is another 60,000% price surge on the horizon. Jeez. Okay, what would that make the price? What are we at? 64.7 times 600. That'd be $388 per XRP. What would the market cap be? How many trillion? We're going to look at the... I'm sorry, we have to entertain this. We have to laugh. $36 billion. So what is 36? I don't even know if the calculator is going to be able to do numbers that big. Times 600. Okay, yeah. $21.6 trillion. That's a good headline, though. That'll get a lot of clicks. That's a good one. Pump.fun flips Ethereum in 24-hour revenue generation from DeFi Llama. Bitcoin price dips 4.5% as U.S. government Bitcoin move raises new sell-off fears. 4 suspects forced a Bitcoiner to transfer Bitcoin before killing him, police say. Dang. Rough. Okay, so anyway, news. They don't have anything in here. I think it's still just a lot of this hopium stuff on Bitcoin being reserves and always pointing to the national debt. I mean, this has gone on since the day I've gotten into crypto. It's always been like this. No real news to talk about in here. the reality is, this is our big day. This is the thing we've waited for months on end, is to get to here. We are only 4 hours away from it. It's likely going to be some serious volatility coming into the market, not just before the meeting, not just during and after, but tomorrow, the next day, and then we'll see how the week afterward pans out. But as for XRP, of course, there's like a glimmer of excitement that has happened in here by getting through this to see, are we kind of leading the way of what's coming for the market, with the DXY now back below 104 at 103.98. We have mostly green throughout the cryptocurrency market, but we are still waiting for the big stuff. We've spent a lot of time here these last weeks and months really just showing how, hey, we're there now for cycle timing wise. We're really there. We're at the point of time where the market's going to make its decision. And we've shown things like the dominance and everything like that. And that's what really went into extreme in-depth in here on the newsletter on blockchainbacker.substack.com that got posted this morning. There's a tremendous amount of cycle timing things, right? That if cycle timing is true, if cycle theory is real, August is the month where it will make itself present. It will show up this month. And there's a lot of different confluences to show that. I struggle with that. I think you guys all know that I kind of struggle with just sitting there saying cycle timing. It's the timing. I look at a lot of other stuff, comparing, that we have to have expansions happen and all that kind of good stuff happening at the exact same time. That magical unicorns of just charts happening without these other events occurring at the same time is different. So we don't write this in the aspect of hopium of being like, it's August, it's time. No, it just really is for the cycle theory. If 4-year cycle theory is to remain true, it will make itself very well and heard here in August. And the interesting thing about it is that you do have the Russell right here. You are at that moment right here where it could make itself well known as well. But we have to see that happen here. But the correlations of the altcoin market in particular, and the crypto market, they have confluence. There are confluences that happened between 2021 and between 2017. There are things that happened in those cycles, which is why people do point to them. But there's even other things they haven't noticed that we include in the newsletter to show they actually went into expansion on pretty much the same day in 2021 and in 2017. And that time is only like a week or two from right now for it to be exactly the same as 2017 and 2021. If you are a cycle theorist, if you believe in timing, if you think this baked into the protocol, everything happens in cycles, you have a week or two for it to make itself heard, seen, and shown. And that is stressful and exciting at the exact same time. But if this expands here, just, oh my gosh. So I'm not a huge fan of just pointing to cycles and timing cycles and things like that. I like for there to be lots of confluences emerging in themselves as well. But you're in that zone right now, and it is not hopium to say August is that time of when it should. The data suggests it should, if the cycles are true. It is August. So, dear God, please provide us with that. That would be magnificent. And if one thing is consistent about this cycle compared to the last one, it's just and lessons that get learned. It's that not everything's going to go. Right? We learned that in 2021. Not everything is going to have a bull run. Some things will have little petered out little retraces that aren't very much. Some will have full-blown retraces. Some can get into all-time highs. And we've spent a lot of time in 2023 and 2024 trying to dissect that and say what criteria was it that mattered that improved those odds. If you would have bought from the top 30 by market cap in 2020 and 2021, only 1 out of 5 of them would have gone into all-time highs. So my expectation heading into this is that it's likely going to be number similar to that or worse, right? That it's more diluted. Maybe it's only 1 out of 8, 1 out of 10, who knows? So just know that going into it, that, you know, whatever you got, there are going to be some that don't do well. But if there's one that is primed for its glory, it's this guy. And I sure hope out of all of them, I would be satisfied with all of them just barely do anything. But if this is the only one that, not only because it's my biggest bag, just because we've all been through all of this stuff together. It sounds like the lawsuit will be wrapped up very soon. If we see expansion happen in the market, we know this thing's like a full bull run behind Ethereum and Bitcoin. So hopefully this is it. And structurally of what's happening in here sure is mirroring that of getting itself started and getting itself worked out. So this is, I don't know, hard to express. If it's coming, you know, we try to remove emotions and everything like that when we're talking about all this, but this has been a ridiculously long journey on this one in particular, with a really difficult narrative and storyline to go along with it. And I've also traveled the entire country for this country. I'm talking about the entire world for this asset, going to Australia's XRP Gold Coast, XRP Las Vegas twice, New York City proper party, a lot of that. So it's dear to my heart to see this go. And if it does, it'll be a very emotional moment to let it go. And I think the hardest part about it is all those things too, of being like, you know, traveling to Australia, traveling Las Vegas twice, traveling to New York City. And if the Fed's cutting and everybody is screaming, this is just the beginning, we are just starting the cutting cycle, the money printer is just turning on, and Ripple, you know, the remedies phase goes to conclusion, there's no appeal, it's all over, and everything like that. And it's like 1 week later, it's like, okay, I'm selling, you know, 70% of it. It's gonna be a weird moment. I don't know. I guess I'm just opening up to you about that, but okay. All right, what are we at right now? We're at 27 minutes into this thing. Looking over here at the market, obviously there's green everywhere. We're all just waiting on this thing to show itself up. How's the stock market doing? RTY is down slightly. It's down 3.9 points. The Dow Jones is down 34 points. The S&P is up 66 points, but the Nasdaq is up 440. So you got Nvidia bouncing up. It's up 10% this morning, with Tesla up, Coinbase up, and Amazon, right? So Coinbase too, it's one of those things at the same time, is that it's back at its retracement levels, right? It hasn't gotten through here. That's been the struggle point for it. It's not an expansion either. And so when everybody refers to these things as bull runs, I don't. I refer to them as retracements, right? That's the big, let's take it off log so you really see it, right? It is a retracement, but we can enter into a bull run, but we have to get through these. Otherwise, it's not one right now. So even if you see this plus 284% over here for Coinbase. Why does the chart look so funny? Oh, because it closed and opened. Okay. All right. There's just nothing to run and tell your mother about here with Coinbase. And really the juice and the steam has calmed down. So we have to see if there's going to be more to it. So I just thought I'd show that with the chart. That's it, guys. That's what we got. We're waiting for the Fed. So one more kind of review. Markets are mixed. Markets are likely going to be volatile today heading into all of this. Get ready for it. I won't have the answers for you for how the market initially reacts to the news. Would it be utterly glorious if we're doing all of this and we're watching the Feds, we're watching Jerome Powell speak, and we see this thing crack through here at the same time? Would that be glorious? Absolutely. But is it like necessary and the detrimental factor of determining our entire future of what's going to happen with crypto and with stocks in the coming weeks and months? I don't think so. I think when we get into August, the month of August is really more of like the big thing. So hopefully we get that kind of reaction happen as we get there, as we get through the Fed meeting. But also, you know, it's not, I don't know if it's hopeful wishing for something to actually happen in the middle of the Fed meeting or at the end of Jerome Powell speaking. So hopefully we get that, but just know it's kind of August is really where all your theories get truly tested. All the content creation that is totally built around absolutely nothing but saying we go on timing, all of that depends on August. So, all right, there you go. XRP, 65 cents. That's probably the most exciting thing happening in the market. And XRP has been holding up really well through all of this. So it's been nice to be an XRP holder for sure. Gold at 24.26, DXY 103.98. Fed meeting not expected to be a cut today. It is expected to be a pause, but the big expectation is that they will give forward guidance and make it very clear that cutting is coming because the market price is a 100% probability that they will in September. Cue your retail investor with the Jerome Powell money printer memes. As for financial news, nobody's talking about anything. I mean, you got a Boeing CEO being replaced, but what does everybody care about? This thing, this is the main event of the day. This is the main event of the week and the month, kind of dictating what's coming in the future. As for crypto news, a bunch of hopium from the Bitcoin conference, but nothing new has changed in there. We're just following the stock market as we always do. And of course, we got a newsletter posted over there this morning. So check that out at blockchainbacker.substack.com. Otherwise, let's go ahead and hop into the chat and hang out with you guys for a little while. And we'll get ready for what's coming. What's coming later today with the Fed. All right, Gator. He gifted it twice, man. He gifted 5 BCB memberships 2 different times. Thank you very, very much, brother. Thank you. He did it before the stream even started. Proud father of 5, member for 8 months. Says, hey, BCB and BCB family, thanks for keeping us updated with your thoughts. That gives broader perspective and makes own decision process easier. Let's go. Well, thank you very much, proud father of 5. You're insane, man. How anybody could do that? Hi, I don't like sleep. That's what being a father of 5 is. No sleep, thanks. No personal time. But you know what, man? I get it. Fatherhood is the number one way to no longer be selfish, self-centered, and you are the center of the universe. You are suddenly not the center of the universe anymore. And you're willing to sacrifice yourself for somebody else, which you otherwise would not, did not feel that way prior to being a father. So, all right. Thank you, brother. XP Market gifted 5 BCB memberships. XP Market, my man, thank you very much. I need to get back to you. I'm terrible. Gensler's Burner, a new member. What's up, Gensler? You probably have to start chatting in here once you resign. Then you're like allowed to talk and say, you were right the whole time, man. All right. Mo419, so you still think ETH can do a super cycle? It's fully dependent on this market expanding. If this market expands, then yeah, sure. This is your answer. That's it. Texas Takeover, member for 15 months. My brother, thank you very much, man. With the frog. Do we do the frog? I'll give you the frog again in a minute. Turbine 215, new member. Welcome. And then gifted 10. Dude, they don't see that very often. Oh, well, because he's not new. Maybe his just had kind of expired. He was like, what's going on here? So let me give 10. Thanks, man. Stuart McCluskey, urgent video request, video tutorial, stakes at 135, the BCB way. Very easy. Very easy. First of all, you only buy filet. That's all you buy. What about T-bone? Right? What about ribeye? What about New York? Nope. You just buy filet. But you don't have to buy the prime. That's crazy. You don't have to pay those crazy prices. Just buy the prime. Just buy filet. Buy choice. It's totally fine. And anybody who's like a snob about choice versus prime in here, whatever you do your thing. You go on with that. Just get filet. Put all your heat on one side of the grill. For me, I always do it on the left side of the grill, so I'm like using my hand motion and showing the left side of my grill. And put it on high heat. And you do 4 minutes on each side. And then you shift the meat over to the other side of the grill where you don't have direct heat on it. And insert a temperature probe. And just let it sit over there on the other side of the grill with the other heat still going on the left side, but no heat over there on the right side. And it's just like kind of like it's sitting in an oven at that point, right? And then raise that temp to 135, pull them off, wait a few minutes, dive in. It's on. You'll never cook a steak a different way ever again. Jonas Fugalis, gifted 1 membership. Brother, thank you. And Stuart, thanks, man. Fouki Polygon on the weekly. Please look at it. Is it dead? It's following the rest of the market. I don't know. Do we really? Geez, it's been a while since we've done this, and I've been like, yeah, let's do altcoin requests. One of my things I don't really enjoy doing. It looks like, truly, like a massive, massive Wyckoff. What's one thing we just showed? Doesn't mean it's going to shoot up to the upside right away. But could it? I can build a case for this, right? We did the same thing with BNB back last year. And people literally were screaming Binance coin was dead. You guys remember this? How much time we spent in here with this? Right? No, this is Wyckoff. That's spring. That's the final phase of spring. New all-time high. So no, I wouldn't count Matic out as being dead. Just very, 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 very long accumulation schematic. Jonas Fugalis, thank you very much, man. You gifted another one. And then Taylor McLaughlin. If you line the XRP fractal from the exact top, the breakout comes today into tomorrow, not next week. Obviously, nothing repeats perfectly, though. Nah, you start getting kind of... I've played with that. It depends on which one you pick. Which one are you going to be nitty-gritty with? You mean nitty-gritty with that one? Where does it get you? Way out. August 12th. How about that one? August 7th. So, and again, like, it's one thing to just grab these things and just say, hey, it's got to do it on this particular day. I don't think that's enough evidence to sit there and say it's got to be some particular day, because that's how many days it was last time. I think it's more of a range, and we got to see broader market participation happen with it. But there's a lot of things on cycle theory that would put you at that time right now. So I wouldn't be looking for a particular day. I'd be looking for a range, and really that range is August, is what the data suggests. Mac Twins, member for 5 months. Do you think Atom all-time high if we get expansion? I don't know. Also, Bito dividend yield was at 40% a couple weeks ago. Dang. 40%?
A couple weeks ago? Really?
As for Atom, I don't know, right? Like we can only go on. My expectations are 1 out of, I don't know how many. Like 1 out of 5 is what 2021 is, right? So then saying, all right, well, how do we match the same criteria to try to get a basket of them, and say, hey, all these kind of match the criteria. Can we improve the odds to 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, right? Does Atom match in the criteria that should be included in that has that chances of 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5? Yes. So it's in my portfolio. But I don't know if it's going to be one of the 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5, right? And that's why I'm not sitting here with like a basket of 3 assets and counting on it. I got a basket of 20, right? And it's like, all right, that's how I'm going to improve my odds. Basket of 20, and matching all of this criteria. Hopefully I can beat the market average with it. Jonas Fugalis, happy Wednesday, gang. Thank you, brother, man. Corey. ETH doesn't look very strong. It hasn't taken out its range lows yet. Do you see that as a realistic move before all-time highs? I don't have Ethereum up here. Okay. See, I don't understand like why that is a thing. Like Ethereum doesn't look very strong. Where are you getting that from? What that likely is, I'm sound like a jerk, Corey. I'm not trying to be. Boredom. You're just tired of price action. You've been in here for 4.5 months. So has Bitcoin. Everybody was screaming at you that we're going to go into extreme euphoria back in March, and you got 4.5 months of getting butt whooped in ranging. At this point, is there anything really in here that is screaming? It's not just ranging, right? It's not just consolidating. That's what you have in here. Going down to new lows. I'm not sure where that bull thesis comes from. That going to new lows is bullish at this point. Structurally, I don't know of that. Right, I can see crash, retrace, reaccumulation, and still just maintaining the lows to then go on and do a 4.236 extension of this particular range in here, right? But I don't know what happens in here. But as for not looking particularly strong, it's ranging, brother. That's really just what you got in here. Predicting a new low in here when you're at the dead middle of this range is kind of the worst place to do it, right? So like in these things where you're going to take shots at stuff, taking shots, right? If you're going to sell, selling near the upper bound of the range. If you're going to buy, buying near the bottom bound of the range, right? Which you just got here a couple of days ago. So it's bounced from that area right now. Thing is, how long will this range continue to go on? And this is what kills. We always talk about that too. There's team up, there's team down, but there's nobody in team sideways because everybody gets bored in team sideways and everybody gets frustrated and everybody's a loser in team sideways, right? Nobody's a winner in team sideways because you don't have volatility that you can trade off of. And everybody just gets beaten up and emotionally drained, especially the longer it goes. Especially when you come off, you talk about this, the dopamine getting stripped away, right? The euphoria getting stripped away. You were feeling super high. You were feeling so euphoric. Every content out there was screaming to you, we're going, baby. Yeah! And then it stopped. And then you got, this. So I'm not saying it's not strong. I'm not saying it's weak either. It's just ranging. And it needs that. That's your answer. Like everybody wants to make sense of everything. Like stop it. It's this. Get expansion here. The assets go. That's how it works. XP market. Member for 16 months. Is today the day that will go down in history as the greatest frog day ever? I hope so, man. I hope so, man. He's, of course, talking about this and how the market will react to this. I sure el hopo. HP market, brother. Thank you. Dude, how am I so far behind? Okay. Thank you, man. Lenny, hey, BCB, if Bitcoin goes sideways and down in the end of September, do you think we'll have to play like May 21st, big drawdown, retrace a few months later? If Bitcoin goes sideways and down into the end of September, do you think we'll have a play like May 21st, big drawdown, retrace a few months later? Not really sure exactly how you're phrasing your question here. I think, are you asking, will we have something of that magnitude? Probably. Eventually, but I'm not sure if you're asking into the end of September, do you think we'll have a play like May 21, big drawdown, retrace? Oh, you mean like this? Do you think we'll have that afterward? I have no idea, man. No clue. No clue. We are still in this phase of the market proving that it is in distribution versus expansion right now. For guessing I'm not even, because like you have to remember what the stock market was doing during this time. What was the Russell doing here? Right? The Russell does this too. Right? the biggest no, we're not tied to the stock market. There's the Russell sitting right on top of Bitcoin. 4-year cycles, it's baked into the protocol. It's super rare. There's only 21 million. You can see that, right? So like if the Russell gets rejected from the 786 retracement level, it seems unlikely that you would get in a retracement rally like this for Bitcoin and something like that. I just got a lot of thumbs down, I'm sure, for doing that impersonation. I need thumbs up recovery mode, please. Thumbs up, warriors, please come to the plate. Thank you. Nah, I don't think so. I wouldn't think you'd get something in that magnitude. I think you got a special thing that happened in the stock market that gave it that type of juice too. All right, Lenny, thank you, man. Jesse Gulick, it's Wednesday, my dudes. Thank you very much. Happy Wednesday, everybody. XRPG, hit the like button. What do you think of AMC and GameStop? I have no opinion. Not bullish. They kind of had their moment there. I don't think they'll get that back again. Right? Where did homie go? Roaring Kitty. Where has he moved on to pet products now? Don't know. You know, they call that animal spirits, right? The animal spirits have to wake up for kind of meme stuff to happen. And I think that's you probably need something like that to happen. Dunern. Happy Friday. Thanks for all that you do, BCB. Hopefully we get a break in the Russell today. I think we are all on the fence cheering for that. Corey, in your last video, you talked about what you do if Bitcoin does break out, and you explained the multiple phases. If that happened, it probably won't be over within 2 months. I'm not asking for timing, but correct. Right. If you're following a super cycle, then it's not indicating that it's over in 2 months. Right. What it would still indicate, though, is that the altcoins were over. Right. That you'd go through another 7-month period of altcoin trash after that, so that you could get 60 days of exciting altcoin stuff, but then another half of a year of altcoin trash all over again. So I would, or he's talking about my last video, I won't be in a rush to do anything at that point, right? And can kind of sit back and kind of stare at it for a minute at that point. But in the event that you saw something like that for Bitcoin where it went to like 150K or 120K or something like that, you probably see a big correction come out. That's probably where you're finally going to see your 40% correction come out of Bitcoin at that point. But you have all that. You should be plenty of time for that to play itself out and wait for something like that to happen. You can give it a minute to kind of to present itself. But yeah, that would be longer than 2 months. But it still would only be 2 months in the altcoin market, and it's still only 2 months for Bitcoin to run too. Then we enter into a whole nother correction all over again. It doesn't necessarily mean 2-year-long bear market, but you could enter a 6-month correction, no problem. We've done it many times, or at least 4-month corrections. R. Breeze, do you think Casper is now dead? Looking at the chart, so I feel like I've beaten up on Casper enough over the years that I don't want to be perceived as the guy beating up on Casper. Right. One of these things in 2022 is people had asked me to go look for their booth. And I went and looked for their booth. And when I got there, it was the most unimpressive thing I had seen at all of consensus of 2023. And so if you guys remember in 2023, I guess it'd be OGs. I guess you could be an OG if you're here for a year and a half. You've stuck around that long. You've been here through the trenches. One of the things on the list was like meet David Schwartz, right? Meet Matt Hamilton, go to the Ripple event. And one of them was as a per request of you guys to go to the Casper booth and talk to them. And I did, and I left not impressed at all compared to what I had seen out of everything else at Consensus. It was bottom tier, like as low on the barrel as you could go on what it was. And a lot of the questions I asked, they didn't know the answers to, and they were very simple questions. And it's not surprising to me, out of what I got to witness with my own eyes that I tried to report back to you on this channel, that that's happening. Now, this market has magical unicorn fairy dust. It has animal spirits in it. It doesn't mean the dang thing can't just wake up and do something because some market maker comes in and does that to the chart. It's always possible, right? But this isn't something I own. It's a chart I don't really pay attention to. And as for like, I'm not certain there really is anything that goes on with Casper. And I may be I know a lot of you guys, there's certain assets that really get kind of promoted throughout the XRP community. Consistency. Like if you own XRP, it's highly likely you own XDC, right? Or it's highly likely you own Flare, right? Like there's always the shared assets that happen. And so I'm not trying to intentionally do anything to you, but report to you. But I don't know if this is used for anything, is the thing. So I don't know, man. This is something I'm not interested in. But it doesn't mean there can't be somebody who comes in as a market maker and just fires the thing away. It's always possible. But it's not for me. That's for sure. JB Heavy Equipment Services, Inc. It's our time, guys. LFG. Thanks, BCB, for keeping our head on straight. And thanks for PTW for all the cheesy jokes. Man, is she sitting in there just delivering cheese after cheese? Man, before I went live, she gave me one. What was it? Something about magician. I don't know if she read it in the chat or if she looked it up on the internet before. All right. If I didn't have her around, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, she does keep the humor around, thank goodness. Although it's only funny very, very rarely. David, big shout out to our Secret 702 crew. You know who you are. Love our daily random chats about anything and everything. Thanks, BCB. Exciting times. David, my man, brother. Thank you. And of course, thanks to the 702 crew group of killer people. Sir Lurker says grilled cheese is the bomb. Okay, I didn't learn this until a couple of years ago. I'm like a wild animal over here. I'm a monster. I didn't know until 2 years ago that you put the butter on the skillet, not the butter on the bread. If you are still somebody who puts butter on the bread, it's wrong. That's not how you do it. Butter on skillet, then bread on buttered skillet. Twist that thing around. That's totally the way to make a grilled cheese. It'll change your life if you haven't done it like that. No. Joseph Barker says butter on bread. No, sir. No, you don't. Try it. Your life will change. Do not put it on the bread. It goes on, melt it on the skillet. All right, we'll move on. You guys are learning how to cook steaks and grilled cheese today. Wow, this is still going. Holy cow. JB Heavy Equipment, thank you. I'm at 53 minutes, so I got to kind of hurry it up. David, big shout out to the Big Secret 702 crew. Yeah, thank you, brother. Flagrantly obtuse. Are we still expecting $9 XRP? Guys, what did I put in my last video? Go watch the last video. The last XRP video. It's the same. Hans loaded. It's Wednesday, my dudes. Brother, thank you. Hans, my dude. Legato Lady. Does Atom or Cosmos on weekly or daily chart also look good examples of Wyckoff accumulation with Creek Spring phase? Yeah, it's what it looks like to me. Legato. Hans loaded. Gifted a membership. Hans, my man, thank you. Nobody, just a witness. Hey, BCB, Stellar Lumens is the sister to XRP. Well, there's certain content creators who definitely promote it to you. That is probably part of the secrets upon secrets. But the weird thing about Stellar Lumens is, one, they're completely unrelated to each other. They're completely not related outside of like the founding moment with Jed McCaleb, right? That's the thing. And the extremely bizarre behavior that Stellar Lumen's price action follows XRP's price action. It's super odd. There's obviously bots that work it, market makers that work it, that tie them together. If XRP is moving, the market makers know, move Stellar Lumens at the same time. You're going to get the retail investors to jump in and pile into it as well. I think that's all manipulation happening there on Stellar Lumens for that price to be completely tied to XRP, because Stellar Lumens investors are XRP investors. XRP investors are not necessarily Stellar Lumens investors, but Stellar Lumens investors are XRP investors. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody who owns XRP also owns Stellar Lumens, but it's likely that everybody who owns Stellar Lumens does also own XRP. Like, it's completely shared. You know what I mean? Kind of like anybody who owns Casper likely owns XRP. Anybody who owns XDC likely owns XRP. You know what I mean? What are the other ones? I know there's other ones. I don't know. John DeJean, I usually skip or mute that something frog. Oh, I'm keeping it PG. But if we get the frog later, I'll soak it in. Well, you know what? We have 2,140 people in here. I think I need to weed out all the people who want to mute it. DJ BCB coming in hot.
It is Wednesday, my. It is Wednesday.
Sometimes it's weird when I think that this is a TA news channel. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? When I do this frog. All right. I played it for you, John. I hope you didn't skip it that time. You're like, oh, no. He may be answering my thing, but I'm skipping. David, I haven't heard this particular question in a bit, but when moon? All signs point to maybe August. Kiddo Sang says, happy birthday, BCB. My man, thank you, brother. Shane G says, would you check out the QNT chart and tell me what you think, please? You know what? This is one that people have asked me about over the years, and I've always said I don't own QNT, and I've been calling it quaint all this time. It was two XRP Las Vegases ago that somebody, a nice lady who watches the channel, had to tell me it's pronounced quant. But it's something I don't own because I just don't have a read on it. And I've stuck with that to say I don't have a read on it. And I think it was the right thing to do, the right thing to say, that most assets had already come down here and quant had not. Now it's gotten to interesting prices, right? Because it just sung here for a year and a half. I didn't have let's take this. I think the last time I was asked about it was up in here. And it was I just don't have a read on that. Because most assets had already visited way down in here. Now, what's interesting is we haven't looked at this in quite some time, and it seems that you have gotten down to those ranges. So, at a place of interest, yes. The only thing for me with quant, it's kind of hard. Just in 2021, it was one of those ones that had the exceptionally sized bull run. Can it reproduce that? Or go into a retrace like we really saw with a lot of stuff back in 2021 for assets that had kind of monstrous 2017s. Those ones really only kind of had retracements in 2021. So while it's at an interesting level and the rest of the market is aligned, I'm not so sure if it's going to be one of the five that do well, right? But But I think price-wise, it's finally at least reached levels that had been seen throughout the rest of the market. Nearly the entire market had come back to at least revisit that. Like we can at least put Ethereum. See, Ethereum comes back and revisits these breakout levels in here and then just marches its way back up. But that is not what happened with Quant, right? It immediately fired off those lows and then just never, ever came back to revisit. Finally, it has. So it seems like it's at an interesting place. It's still something that's just not of my interest in particular because it doesn't match a lot of the criteria that I look for when it comes to like inflation, developer activity, user activity levels, TVL, all that kind of stuff. I don't see it show up on any of my things, so it's not important to me. But price-wise, chart-wise, it's finally come back and it's back-tested the breakout level that has now been hit. So it's potentially interesting, but not for the criteria that's important for me. But not to dismiss, whatever research you've done that in whatever case you have built, that's great. Maybe you totally have something and we look at different sets of data and your data tells you a different thing. So, but at least it has at least pulled back, But who cares about any assets, guys? This is the only one that matters. Okay, I'm gonna have to go a little quicker through these last ones, guys, because I still have a few, but I'm just not moving fast enough. Max Hydrostone says, "OGs, remember you explaining us the reason why Greta Thunberg exists. Hide repo." Okay, sir, what you have said has a special, near and dear place in my heart, because that is one of my very few watched videos. I think that video only has 6,000 views. And in my own mind, I blow my mind away with that video. I blow my own mind away with that video, still to this day. Because what happened 1 month after that? The C19 crash happened right after that. And if you kind of go through that video and looking at it, it was kind of like, what were we dealing with? We were dealing with Iran stuff back then. And it was kind of like, it seems like we're like leading up to something, but like this isn't it. But there's something. And then it was 1 month later, C19 happened. Thank you, Max. You're the man. All right, flagrantly obtuse. Is it possible that XRP goes past $9? It's possible it goes past $9. It's possible it goes below $9. Suio Kisha. Jeez, why did I do that? All right, BCB accidentally called himself BSB. Did I do that when I did the DJ part? Hey, it's DJ BSB. Hold on, sorry. Trying to look something up here. All right. Far from Jaded says, I see that you finally acknowledged Pendle. When it was ranked 400 and something, Far from Jaded was trying to get me to say it on the channel. You have to understand what it's like being in my position. I get trash talked for anything that I talk about. Anything. You ever seen the replies on my Twitter? It's the most toxic zone in the universe. I can't do anything at all without being called a shill, a scammer, anything. If I touch something that is ranked 400 publicly, I get criticized. If you don't understand that, my job is not to pump your bags. Just not. I'm not going to do it. So we don't talk about meme coins on here, right? I don't talk about stuff with like $20 million market caps and then post charts on it on here's the great entry of this $20 million market cap coin. By the way, I've already made a giant entry in it, but I'm sharing it with hundreds of thousands of you now. You don't recognize that happens all the time. You're just, you got to understand what happens in this market and content creation and the way it works. I try to build my stuff on information, education, and avoid things that even have the perception of that I'm trying to influence the price of a low market cap coin. If you can't get that, bro, it's time for you to go. Because this has been your thing the whole time. You're finally talking about my coin. You can't understand it. I don't know what to tell you. Gibbs, fried egg recipe. Teaspoon or more, fried egg recipe. A teaspoon or more of olive oil. Big dollop of whipped butter. Fry your egg, salt and pepper one side. Whoa, dude. Are we even eating eggs anymore, or are we just eating pure fat? A teaspoon or more of olive oil, and then a big dollop of whipped butter to fry your egg. Like, we're eating an egg to get protein, right? The yolk is already heavily in fat, but then we just added a ton of oil. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Not to say that's not delicious, but I think we're kind of killing the idea of eating an egg when we do it like that. But thank you. Ryan Chase gifted 10 BCB memberships. Man, Ryan, thank you, dude. Trading Professionals UK, great work. I look forward to your videos every day. It's my birthday today. Can I have a frog? Regards, Barry. Barry, thank you very much. Happy birthday. July 31st, 2024. We'll get you a frog, man. JB Estrada, happy birthday, BCB. I feel like graduating class of 2021 is coming. I can't wait to buy a well-cooked steak and my new EV. I can't wait to be driven around in my self-driving EV eating a well-cooked steak. JB, thank you, brother. Max Hydro, it's one of my favorite videos, sir. It's so buried in that video list. I can't find it now. Repost BCB predicting C19. The video is either in January or February of 2019. So you just kind of have to go back. How many years is that now? No, it was in 2020. So you have to go back 4.5 years. That's when that video was put out. Jeez, man. C19 was over 4 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah, that was January. I believe that video was put out late January 2020. Okay, I'm all caught up. Hot dang. All right, guys, here's what's up. We've got the Russell 2000, obviously at the 786 Fibonacci retracement level. We've got XRP at 65 cents. We've got Bitcoin at 66,100. We are going to be having our Fed meeting today. I'm going to be coming back live to you guys 5 minutes before this thing. So go ahead and look at this right now. See what time that is right now from where you live. If you're watching the replay of this, you're screwed. But if you're watching it live, that's at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll go live 5 minutes before that happens. Now, what we do is we get ready for the rate decision to come out. The Fed will release a statement. We'll read the statement. We'll see the decision. And then we'll just kind of look around the market. Then we essentially have to spend 30 minutes of awkward silence, kind of trying to just waste time and burn time until we get to Jerome Powell speaking. When Jerome Powell comes up on stage and does his big statement, we'll have Bitcoin up, we'll have the stock market up, we'll have crypto up. We'll be watching the markets to see how they react during Jerome Powell's press conference. I don't provide any commentary during Jerome Powell's presser, but we sit there and we watch everything live and we see how the market reacts to it all. And once he's done, we wrap up the stream. We're out. I check in with you guys again tomorrow. So we don't spend a lot of time after the meeting. The only way we're going to play the frog after the meeting is if the Russell breaks out. That's going to be our rule. It's going to be the hard rule on how we get it. So that's what we're going to kind of be waiting for. But otherwise, we just wrap it up when the press conference is over. It's a highly anticipated press conference. Highly anticipated for crypto. This is the big moment. Things are aligned for August for cycle theory. And then at the same time, you have these confluences of the stock market and, of course, a narrative that retail investors need to hold on to. The money printer is turning on, right? The thing that they love and that they grasp onto. And every normie can grasp onto, right? Because that's really been one of the things. Where are the normies? Where aren't the numbers flying, right? Where are all the viewers? Where's all the engagement? Where are they? Well, everybody can wrap their head around the Fed is going to start printing. And what happened the last time Fed started printing, right? Your grandma understands it. Your dog's girlfriend understands it, right? Like everybody gets it. If the printers are turning on, it's time to rip. And so is that going to be our narrative to get retail to come YOLO in? It may be. But how long will it last is the big question. Either way, that's going to be later today. We'll watch all this stuff and hopefully we end up getting something magical to show up. Of course, timing of it is just fantastical. And hopefully it's the time. Dear Lord. So, all right, there you go. 104 DXY, silver and gold are up today. They're having decent sized days. And the stocks are doing some recovering with NVIDIA up 11%. A big bounce there for NVIDIA after getting stretched pretty far to the downside. So check in with you guys. Oh, yeah, David Lechner. Hard swallow. Can't wait. Yes, Jerome Powell has the most famous hard swallows in the world. When my wife gives me a hug, sometimes she does a hard swallow, and she knows that is a... I don't know what that disease is called, where... like some of you probably never even heard, you're gonna think I'm crazy, where like if you hear, there's certain things that can like infuriate you, like noises, like for example things that can drive me crazy. Bless my dear mother, I love her very, very much, but if I'm sitting at the table eating with her, she really likes to take a fork and like kind of shuffle her food around a lot on her plate and get it kind of into a corner and then eat it. But it's like 40 or 50 little shuffles that she does with her fork where her fork touches the plate. And it triggers infuriation. And hard swallows trigger infuriation for me. And so my wife will give me a hug and she walks up and she's being very sweet and she does a hard swallow. And I just look at her, I'm like, you're disgusting. You're a monster. Everybody's got these names, whatever. It's like psychopathism or... Yes, David. She says, I think BTW knows what triggered. Yes, I'm getting trolled. Yeah, she's trolling me. So, anyway, Jerome Powell, the hard swallower. That's why we even talk about it, is because it triggers my disease that I have of sounds that infuriate me. Hard swallows being one of them. And so that's why I've always noticed it, that he does it a lot. And why we talk about it. Either way. Nobody, just a witness. Get yourself the BCB course. Y'all do it. Teach yourself. It will pay you in knowledge and understanding. Thanks, BCB. Nobody, just a witness, man. Thank you. I don't even think I brought that up. Check out bcbacker.com. Over 40 videos and 11 hours of content teaching you how to set up your own charts and indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. But the big one, of course, is the stars aligning over here. And what we have, cycle theory is going to be tested in August. It is this month. We're going to find out. All right. Now every time I hard swallow, I'll just go punish myself. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm wrapping it up. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Check back in here again in a little over 3 hours. So we'll be back. I'll set up the stream. I'll have it prepared to go. And then you guys will see it, and then we can all hang out. We can get ready for Jerome's hard swallowing and hopefully forward guidance that gets retail investors really excited. So, all right, I'm done. I'm wrapping it up. Check out the newsletter that was posted over there this morning, blockchainbacker.substack.com. There are links in the description to this video and this live stream to blockchainbacker.substack.com and bcbacker.com. Otherwise, I'll check in with you guys in 3 hours from right now. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I'll check with you soon. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like the live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment. Wait. This is what I'm talking about. I'm too rusty. You guys tune in. You know, you're not here to watch me. You're here for that. I will try it again. DJ Blockchain Backer coming in hot.
Wednesday, my It is Wednesday, dudes.
Wonder if I'm yelling too loud. Like I'm like trying to yell over the frog, and maybe it's like too loud. Sounds like I'm screaming. I don't know. Okay, let's try the whole thing again, though. We're gonna do this. Just barely. All right, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need to pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.